Welcome back to Howling Around. Today, I want to talk about something almost everyone has experienced at some point. Men, women, we all do. And that is the following: you go on a date, it feels good, maybe even feels great. The conversation flows, there's laughter, there's some, touchy feely going on, maybe even a kiss. And at the end, she says, "Oh my god, this was really nice." Or "I had a great time," or "I'd love to see you again." And then nothing. She just fades out, she ghosts, and you're left thinking, what the fuck happened? What the hell did I do wrong? I thought we had a great connection. I thought we had an awesome date. So let's clear something up right now. Because this confusion comes from one big misunderstanding, and it really is a misunderstanding. Good or great or awesome or whatever you want to call it does not mean the same thing to everyone. When most people say a date was good, they often are just describing the experience in that moment. It means that it wasn't awkward, it means it wasn't uncomfortable, it means it wasn't a total disaster. It means that the conversation flowed, for instance. It means that maybe you had some banter. All of that just tells you that's a good date in a basic human sense. But that doesn't automatically mean that there is a romantic interest. I mean, I've been on dozens of dates where I said, I had a good time. This was a fun date. It was a good date. But there was no romantic interest on my side or on her side. A date can be pleasant without being compelling. It can be polite without being attractive, and it can even be enjoyable without creating the desire for a second date. And that's where a lot of guys and women get tripped up. A lot of guys make the mistake of thinking that comfort means chemistry. If the date feels easy and friendly, they assume attraction is there. Doesn't have to be. Comfort just means she feels safe. It means she feels respected. Attraction is something else. Attraction has, tension, curiosity. There is some pull, some banter, a sense of, I want more of whatever this is, what we're doing here. So when she says, I had a great time, that might actually be really, really true. She did have a good time. She just didn't feel enough romantic pull to continue with you. And instead of explaining that to you, which is, well, pretty uncomfortable, many people, guys and women, choose the easier route of just, fading away, letting it fizzle out, or just unmatching, or just, ignoring you. Another thing to understand is that people process dates differently. I mean, some people decide in the moment, others decide later. Sometimes I'm very excited about a date, and when the date ends, I'm like, I want to see you again. I really like you. And other times I'm like, I'll give you a call. Depends. Someone can leave a date feeling neutral, go home, think about it, and compare it to other options they have. And then realize, yeah, you're not quite the one for me. That doesn't mean that the date suddenly became bad. It just means clarity arrived a little bit later. And this is something you have to realize. There's also a big difference between how men and women often experience dates. Many men decide based on the date itself. Many women decide based on how they feel afterward. Do they find themselves thinking about you, smiling randomly when they think about you, wanting to see you again? And if the answer is no, then the interest fades, even if the date itself was objectively fine. And this is where ghosting often comes from. It's not malice, it's not manipulation, it's just a lack of, you know, enough interest to justify a follow up, to justify a second date. Combine this with discomfort of saying no directly. So, they just choose to ghost you. So, how do you know if a date was actually good in a way that leads somewhere? Well, you have to pay attention to the signs, you have to pay attention to the cues. There are definitely signs and cues that will tell you whether she is actually on the same page when you're talking about the date is good or the date is great. So you have to pay attention. A good sign isn't just that the conversation flowed and, that you kissed. It's that the energy moved forward. There was some flirting. I mean, I've been on dates where we kissed where there was absolutely no flirting, no tension whatsoever, and the kiss was like, fine, but really, I don't care if we kiss or not. I don't care if we see each other again or not. So that's not energy moving forward. It's just lost energy. So you want to have something in the air that pushes both of you forward. There has to be some flirting, there has to be some playfulness, some banter, some emotional shift, really. You felt, well, not you felt, but do you feel closer to her at the end of the date than you do or than you did at the start of the date? Not just more familiar. I'm not talking about familiar. I'm talking about do you feel more connected to her? That's an important indicator for you. Another sign is reciprocity. Did she ask questions? Did she lean in? Did she match your energy? You know, didn't she just only respond, but did she actually contribute to the conversation? When interest is real, it doesn't really feel one-sided. It feels like a back and forth, like a tennis game. That's how it should feel. And here's the most important indicator that a lot of guys ignore, and that is your body. Did you leave the date feeling energized or drained? Did you feel enthusiastic or not at all? Do you feel curious or relieved after the date? More calm or more anxious? I mean, your nervous system usually knows more than your mind does, or at least it knows before your mind does. So you got to listen to that. And I think an important indicator would be when you leave the date, do you feel enthusiastic about that woman? If the answer is yes, then that's a good sign for you that you actually like her and that there is some energy that will move things forward. Now, here's the part that helps you move on faster. Even if you thought that the date was great, her experience is equally valid. You have to remember that. Dating isn't about convincing someone they should want you. It's about discovering whether interest naturally exists on both sides. So, if someone says they had a great time and then disappears, don't try to rewrite history. Don't assume that she lied to you, and definitely don't assume that there is something wrong with you. 99.9% of the time, none of that is the case. A date can actually be good or even be great and not lead anywhere at the same time. That is possible. You can actually have a steaming makeout session and never have a second date. That's how it works. That is the uncomfortable reality of dating. And once you accept it, it hurts a lot less. Trust me, it's not you. A truly good date, in the sense that it goes somewhere, usually leaves both people wanting more, feeling enthusiastic, and not just feeling polite. It has to create some curiosity, it has to create momentum, it has to, leave you with that feeling, I want to see you again tomorrow, if possible. And when there's those things, when that energy is there, a follow up doesn't feel confusing. If you're confused, the answer is probably she's not into you. Because if she likes you, if she wants to see you again, if she's into you, you'll know. I always tell that to everyone. If you like someone, let them know. Don't let there be any confusion or any room for interpretation. So the next time you're wondering, was it a good date? Ask yourself this instead. Did I create pull? Did I create energy that moves forward? Or did we just pass time? So you gotta have some banter, some playfulness. You gotta feel more connected, and both of you should leave the date feeling enthusiastic about each other. You don't want the date to end and say, yeah, it was fine, it wasn't awkward, but we just spent an hour talking and that's that. That might be a good date in terms of, basics, but that's not a date that leads anywhere. So that question will save you a lot of overthinking. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.